Hello dear students, welcome to geography class. I hope all of you are doing well. Students, in this video I shall be continuing with chapter 3rd of geography, that is motions of the earth. So, in the previous video I explained you about revolution. I explained about the effects of revolution. What is the effect of revolution? The change in seasons, the change in the phenomenon of seasons is due to revolution. So in the previous video I explained you about summer solstice and winter solstice, that when do we experience summer and when do we experience winter, and also why do we experience summer and winter. So in this video I'll be explaining you about spring and autumn season, that when do we experience spring and autumn season and why do we experience spring and autumn season. Now students, here also you need to remember two more dates. I told you about 21st June and 22nd December. 21st June is the summer solstice and 22nd December winter solstice. Now here we have two more dates which you need to keep in mind. So on 21st March, please remember that on 21st March and 23rd September, the rays of the sun, they directly fall on the equator. Okay, they are not falling on any of the tropics, rather the rays of the sun are falling on the equator directly, and at these positions both the poles are equidistant from the sun. See, the poles are equidistant from the sun. Equidistance means at equal distance. Okay, so the whole earth experience equal days and equal nights when on 21st March and 23rd September. Why the complete earth experience equal day and equal days and equal nights? Because the rays of the sun falls directly on the equator. Okay, that is why the whole of the earth experiences equal days and equal nights, and also the poles are equidistant from the sun. So this is the reason we experience equal days and equal nights on 21st March and 23rd September. So this is called equinox. Equi means equal days, equal nights. Now equinox means, students, equinox basically means the position of earth when the sun shines directly on the equator and all the places on the earth have equal days and equal nights, and this occurs on 21st March and 23rd September. Please remember that equinox means equal days and equal nights, and please remember these two dates, that is 21st March and 23rd September. Now I am going to tell you about now I am going to tell you about spring equinox and autumn equinox. That means when do we experience spring season and when do we experience autumn season. Students, as I told you while explaining the summer solstice and winter solstice, that if you are experiencing summer season, that does not mean that the whole of the earth is experiencing summer season. One season is experienced in a particular hemisphere. If you are in the northern hemisphere and experiencing summer, that means that the people in the southern hemisphere will experience winter, not summer. So similarly is the case of spring and autumn season. See, on 21st March it is spring season. Yes, on 21st March it is spring season in the northern hemisphere, which is called as spring equinox. Okay, on 21st March it is spring season in the northern hemisphere called as spring equinox, and on 23rd September in the northern hemisphere you face autumn season, or autumn season is there, which is called as autumn equinox. So first I have told about northern hemisphere, that in the northern hemisphere on 21st March it is spring season, which is called as spring equinox, and in the northern hemisphere on 23rd September it is autumn, which is called as autumn equinox. So I hope that the concept of spring and autumn is clear in the northern hemisphere. Now let me move to the southern hemisphere. See, the opposite is in case of southern hemisphere. On 21st March, it is autumn season. The people in the southern hemisphere experience autumn season, which is called as autumn equinox, and they experience spring on 23rd September, which is called as spring equinox. So if on 21st March in the northern hemisphere spring is there, then it will be opposite in the southern hemisphere. That means their autumn will be there. And if in the northern hemisphere autumn is there, then in the southern hemisphere what will happen? The southern will experience spring. So opposites, so it is just the opposite in the southern hemisphere. So I hope that all the 4 seasons, that is summer, winter, spring and autumn, they are clear to everybody, that why do we experience and how do we experience different seasons. Now students, let me explain you the phenomenon of seasons with the help of this diagram. So as you can see that sun is in the middle and here is the position of earth. As you can see 4 earths, but this is basically the position of earth with regard to sun. So let's start with the summer season. As you can see here, as I told you that on 21st June, what happens? The northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. So what happens? As it is tilted towards the sun, the rays of the sun falls on the Tropic of Cancer, that means 23.5 degree north, and as a result of which what happens? The northern hemisphere receives the sunlight, which results in summer season, which is called as summer solstice. So summer is there in the northern hemisphere and opposite is there in the southern hemisphere. That means winter is there in southern hemisphere, which is called as summer solstice. Now let's come to autumn season, which is on. So now let's come to the autumn, that means 23rd September. Now see, autumn means the rays of the sun falls on the equator, right? It falls on the equator. So what happens? In the northern hemisphere autumn is there and in the southern hemisphere spring is there. So in the northern hemisphere autumn season is there, which is called as autumn equinox, and in the southern hemisphere spring is there, which is called as spring equinox. Now let's come to the winters, that means 22nd December. On 22nd December what happens? The southern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, as a result of which the Tropic of Capricorn, that is 23.5 degree south, the rays of the sun falls on the Tropic of Capricorn. Okay, as a result of which the portions or the areas of Tropic of Capricorn, they receive sunlight, and as they receive sunlight, it is daytime in the southern hemisphere, which results in summer season in the southern hemisphere. And as it is summer in the southern hemisphere on 22nd December, it is winter in the northern hemisphere, which is called as winter solstice. Now let's come to the next one, that is 21st March. On 21st March what happens? The rays of the sun falls directly on the equator. So there is spring season in the northern hemisphere, which is called as spring equinox, and there is autumn season in the southern hemisphere, which is called as autumn equinox. So I hope that the phenomenon of seasons, I hope that the phenomena of seasons are clear to everybody, that why do we experience a particular season and how do we experience that particular season. Now students, what would happen if the earth's axis was not tilted? See, if the earth's axis was not would not be tilted, then there would be no seasons. Yes, there would be no seasons, and it is because of the tilted axis that the two poles, that means the North Pole and the South Pole, they are tilted towards the sun at different times, resulting in opposite seasons within a year. See, See, as the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, that is why the places or the portion of northern hemisphere, that is why in the northern hemisphere, oh please cut that line. See, as the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, what happens? The portions of northern hemisphere, they receive sunlight, as a result of which there is summer in the northern hemisphere, and that is opposite in the southern hemisphere. So it is very important for the axis to be tilted, and if it would not be tilted, then we would not be able to experience any season. So students, there are days and nights and change in seasons because of the rotation and revolution of the earth respectively. Okay, so I hope that the concept of rotation and revolution is clear to everybody, that what happens, what are the effects, what are the impacts of rotation and revolution, and why it is so important for the earth to rotate and revolve. Now students, let me tell you about a great mathematician, that is Aryabhat. As you can see on the screen, students, this is the picture of Aryabhat. So Aryabhat was born in 476 AD, and you know, he was a great mathematician and astronomer of ancient India. And in the field of mathematics, he contributed in finding out the place value system. He founded zero. Yeah, he invented zero. Then the value of pi, that is 22/7. Then about trigonometry. Then about algebra and a few others. And in the field of astronomy, he wrote about the solar system, about the motions of the planet, the causes of eclipse, the circumference as well as diameter of the earth, and several others about astronomy. So just you can think that he was born in 476 AD. That time he wrote about all this. He was a great mathematician. He even found the value of pi, and he had also explained about the place value system. And his calculation and theories, they are nearly very authentic. You know, they're very authentic. And unfortunately, he bid farewell to this world in 550 AD. So I hope that all the points in this chapter are clear to everybody. Now students, we will be moving to the exercises that are given on page number 151. So let's start with the exercises. So students, as you can see on the screen, first we have objective type questions, and in this we have question number A, that is multiple choice type questions. So let's start with the first multiple choice type questions. I expect everybody to look on the screen. So we have the first question on the screen. The question number 1 is, a leap year has, and the options are option A 365 days, option B 366 days, option C 28 days, and option D 7 days. So I have already explained you, and you already know about the leap year, that a leap year has 366 days. So the correct option is option B. And I have also explained you that why leap year has 366 days. So we have one more question based on leap year. So I'll explain you in detail about that. Now question number 2. Which country is known as the land of rising sun? The options are option A Japan, option B India, option C New Zealand, and option D Australia. So Japan is called as the land of rising sun. Why it is called as the land of rising sun? Because the sun rays falls first on Japan and then in the other parts of the world. So that is why it is called as the land of rising sun. So let's move to question number 3. The question number 3 is, the period of diffused light before it gets dark is called. The options are option A dawn, option B morning, option C dusk, and option D afternoon. So I have explained you students that the period of diffused light before it gets dark, that means after the sun sets and before the night approaches, before the sky is dark, that period is called as dusk. And the period of diffused light before the sunrise, it is called as dawn. So the correct option will be option number C, dusk. Now let's move to the last question of this exercise. That is question number 4th. The change in the position of the earth around the sun brings changes in. The options are option A, months, option B, weeks, option C, day and night, and option D, seasons. So students, I have already explained you that the change in the position of earth, as the earth changes its position around the sun, so that brings changes in seasons. So the correct option will be option D. So now let's move to question number B. So question number B says, unscramble the letters given in the help box and fill in the blanks. So a help box is given, as you can see here, and there are several words, and the words are not arranged in proper order. They are unscrambled, means they are jumbled. So first of all, you have to arrange those letters in proper order, that makes a proper sense, and then with the help of those words you have to fill up the blanks. So let's start with the first one. So the first one is, the earth takes dash days and dash hours to complete one revolution. So I have already explained you that the earth takes 365 days and 6 hours to complete one revolution. That means it takes 1 year to complete one revolution. Next, question number 2. The northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun on dash. So the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun on 21st June, which is called as summer solstice. I have explained you. Next, question number 3. The earth rotates from dash to dash. The earth rotates from west to east. This I have told you in the previous chapter also. Next, question number 4. The period of diffused light before sunrise is called dash, while the period after sunset is called dash. So the period of diffused light before sunrise, or the time before sunrise, is called dawn, while the period after the sunset is called dusk. Okay. Now next, question number 5. A year has dash days, but a leap year has dash days. So a normal year has 365 days, but a leap year has how many days? It has 366 days. So I hope that question number B is clear to everybody. Now students, let's move to question number C. So question number C is, match the following. As you can see, 2 columns are given, column A and column B. So you have to match column A with column B. So first we have in column A, September 23rd. On September 23rd, I have already told you about September 23rd. That means autumn equinox. September 23rd, autumn equinox. Next, second we have June 21st. On June 21st, shortest night. Why? Because of summer solstice. What happens? The day is very long and the night is very short, or the shortest. The day is the longest and the night is the shortest. So June 21st will match with shortest night. Third one, March 21st. That means spring equinox. March 21st is spring equinox. And the last one, December 22nd. That means the southern hemisphere tilted towards the sun. On 22nd December, what happens? The southern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, as a result of which the places in the southern hemisphere, or the southern hemisphere, experiences summer and the northern hemisphere experiences winter. So I hope that till here all the questions are clear to everybody. Students, I'll be explaining you the next question in the next video. Till then, thank you so much and stay safe.